Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about Mmiw. For those of you who are asking what does Mmiw mean, it means Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women. It's a recent movement that started to so we could bring recognition to the disappearance and murders of Native American women and girls. Also, two-spirited people and men and young boys. Well, the movement is still brand new, although the issue is not. Statistics say that we are at a higher risk of going missing, being murdered, and not being found. There's a lot of issues going around with all this because sometimes when we had to rely on social media to get the word out that our loved one is missing, and it takes even great pressure on law enforcement to actually set up a team to look for them. Although there are many cases of Mmiw cases in the U.S., Canada has a high rate of missing and murdered Indigenous women. Those of you on social media have seen the hashtag Mmiw or hashtag No More Stolen Sisters. It's so we can continue to spread awareness on this horrific and epidemic that's going on through Indian country. 3 to 5 women, Native American women in general, go through some type of violence in their lifetime. Whether it be domestic violence, sexual assault, or a combination of both, harassment, anything. There are different advocacy groups throughout Indian country. One was actually started by Jody Voice Yellowfish, who lives in Texas. She is Oglala, Lakota, Muskogee Creek, and Cherokee. And this is, like I said, we all have different chapters within the whole United States, up in Canada, to keep relaying the information that's given to us through flyers, to keep reminding people that the missing are somebody. There are their mothers, sisters, daughters, granddaughters. It's very overwhelming because it's almost like not every other day I do see a missing persons flyer, and it's throughout, like I said, it's throughout everywhere. And when we hear the news that they unfortunately have been found in a way that we didn't want to find them, that's even more heartbreaking. There are task force being made to ensure that they actually try to they actually follow through at helping us locate our missing family members, helping figure out who, what, and where and why. That's one of the basic questions: who, what, where, and why. Like I said, there's a lot of missing cases in the United States and in Canada. The Highway of Tears is one of the most daunting places to be of North Canada. It's like I'm still stammering. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna read a few things I found. When people use the hashtags MMIW and the MMIWG tweet hashtags, it actually leaves 156.1 million impressions. And with that being said, it circulates, that way we can keep generating the information coming out. Sometimes, depending on the region you live in, Amber Alerts are not issued until the state police actually issue them. Due to jurisdictional restrictions and such, it shouldn't have to be that way. Once somebody reports a missing person, an Amber Alert should be already administered. But this is during before it was, because of tribal law and law enforcement, they had to sound the alarm. They have to get state involved, and sometimes, like in Ashland Mike's case, they had to get the FBI involved because of miscommunication. This is hard. One of the factors is recognizing the problem we have. The attention towards the crisis seemed to improve when a researcher's report on violence against Native American women and Alaska Native women and men was published that was based on 1,542 phone surveys completed in 2010, and found that more than 84% of American Indian and Alaskan women, which is between the quota of 1.5 million people, experience violence in their lifetime. 67% were concerned for their own safety, and 41% have been physically injured from physical violence by intimate partners, stalking, and sexual violence. In 2018, the Seattle-based Urban Indian Health Institute completed its landmark survey, reporting that 5,712 missing Alaska Native American and American Indian women and girls, only 116 of whom were registered in the Department of Justice database, using data from 71 urban cities, and the UIHI report exposed the tremendous scale of this problem. Thousands of Indigenous women who had gone unrecognized, ignored, and unprotected. With these publications, it became clear that not only there was an invisible epidemic, but that active neglect, discrimination, and apathy had kept it hidden. A February 2018 policy brief by the National Congress of American Indians explained that how the NIJ report and several census-based reports was dependent on faulty Department of Justice databases. By September of 2019, BIA Deputy Bureau Director Addington testified that his office had not compiled data on missing persons or domestic violence statistics. In other words, tribal affiliation data were left out of those national databases. The alarming statistics are now becoming widely known. AI and AN are at 2.5 times more likely to experience violent crimes, 2 times more likely to experience rape and sexual assault. Data gaps and conflicts over jurisdiction are a large part of the problem, since federal, state, tribal, and local and law governments share responsibilities in many of these cases. These data gaps impact on how law enforcement officials handle or follow up on cases. Underreporting and racial misclassification, potential gender and racial biases, and the lack of law enforcement resources required to follow through and close out cases appropriately. There are just some of the challenges faced while working on the MMIP cases. This is still a continually standing issue we have, the miscommunication between law enforcement agencies, whether it's local law enforcement, tribal law enforcement, federal law enforcement. There's always some type of chain of command you have to go through in order for people to start looking into these cases. Although a new partnership between the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Indian Affairs will address data management and tracking in these agencies, aiming to improve not only traffic tracking but also budgeting the educational efforts specific to Mmiw in both tribal and non-tribal offices. Traditionally, the BIA's Office of Justice Services collects monthly crime statistics from both tribal and BIA law enforcement programs, but this did not track missing persons or domestic violence statistics. The new BIA partnership with the DOJ's National Missing and Unidentified Persons system went live with its new data collection strategies in late February 2019. Legislative responses are under consideration. The 1994 Violence Act Against Women Act, which had largely failed to protect Native American women, was reauthorized in 2013 to give tribes jurisdiction over domestic violence cases committed against Native Americans on tribal lands. This meant tribal courts could prosecute non-Native suspects in domestic violence cases. But a new provision proposed in 2019 reauthorization could have closed the boyfriend loophole even further by extending tribal jurisdiction to include perpetrators of sexual violence and stalking. That reauthorization failed in the Senate last April over largely Republican and National Rifle Association oppositions to provisions barring stalkers and abusive partners from buying guns.
It's not only against women, it's against transgender people.
A bill to address the data collection gaps, nicknamed Savannah's Act, surnamed for Savannah LaFontaine Greywind, who was abducted and killed in North Dakota. Her case we were following when they sounded off for alarm. Not only was she murdered, but her unborn child was taken from her. Sorry, guys. By targeting DOJ and tribal coordination and reporting failed to pass the House last year, but is again under consideration in both the House of Representatives H.R. 2733 and the Senate S. 227 for 2020, and the third piece of legislation, the Not Invisible Act, H.R. 2438 and S. 982, would create a joint commission between the DOI and the DOJ to promote coordination and ongoing advisory body. Finally, in November, the president signed the former president had signed a executive order establishing his own task force to address Mmiw, Operation Lady Justice. Representatives of indigenous communities attending and signing expressed support for the task force, but others consider the effort underfunded without tribal representation. State-level legislative responses also emerged, such as the Washington, Arizona, Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota, and task forces have been created in many more states. Now that we have now that we have a Native American woman in the White House, because she's now Deb Haaland is the Secretary of Interior. She has been pushing through the Mmiw bills, which is good because it actually makes people more aware and for more people to take more consideration when it comes into Native American women and children and men and young boys. We shouldn't have to be afraid. And I'm just saying this from my own perspective, because I do live in the city. I am an indigenous woman. I do have that fear that one day I will go to work and I won't come home. I have that same fear for my sisters, my cousins, even my own child. This is one of the biggest things that we need to keep pushing so we won't have to be that afraid.
To live a normal life. To try to live a normal life.
And people keep asking why we keep spreading this, these hashtags, these things, because we are the voice of those who cannot say anymore, who cannot speak anymore because they were stolen.
And they're not returned home yet. They haven't gone home yet. So we can bury them the right way. Send them on their journey. It's the worst thing. I feel so sad for Sunday. For all the mothers out there. Aunties, sisters who won't be able to see their loved ones that were taken from them. That's what breaks my heart. The hoping and the praying that they'll come home. And in your heart you know they won't, but at least bring them home or tell somebody where they're at so they can be buried the right way. That's the most saddest thing ever. I just pray for all those mothers, sisters, and aunties out there, grandmothers, to be strong, to have faith, believe in your spirit and your prayers. And this too we shall overcome someday. We will find answers, and we will find them. Be careful out there. Be aware of your surroundings. If you get angry and leave, go somewhere, at least tell somebody where you're going to be. Even if you're still angry, at least let them know where you're at. Don't be afraid to come home. Yeah, it's not good to, when you get home, you get scolded again. But at least you're home. At least they know where you're at. Blessings to all of you out there. Be safe. Continue to wear your masks. Wash your hands, because this pandemic is not over yet. May Creator bless all of you.
Those of you guys don't know, that's my mom.
As I get my house, I'm inviting my cousin out here.
There are websites that you guys can look up to see what you guys can do to keep this movement. Share on social media. Keep on sharing. You see flyers, you share them. You see posts, you share them. Anything.
You know anything about anybody?
And if you guys see anything, say something. If you see something, say something. Don't stay silent. I'm gonna give you guys the websites that you guys can look up for your information. You can go to www.mmiwus.org, or you could go to mmiw.ca. Or mmiwresources.card.co, indianaffairs.org, lakotalaw.org. And if you find that you need to help, you call 1-844-413-6649. And this is a line that's available to anyone requiring emotional assistance related to the subject of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. And if you need help,
go and find help.
It's
there. It's there.
Help is there. You just need to go and get it, grab it any type of help you can get. If you see something, say something.
Are you crying too?
For those of you guys who wonder why we wear red,
You're gonna call your grandma on Mother's Day and your great grandmother.
if you guys are wondering why we wear red, Red is the official color of the Mmiw campaign, but it goes deep and has a significant value. In various tribes, red is known to be the only color spirits can see. And it's a hope that by wearing red, we can call back the missing spirits of our women and children so we can lay them to rest. So today was May the 5th. Everybody that, in the outside world or where it was Cinco de Mayo, whatnot. But for us, it's Mmiw Awareness Day, and we wear red. We wear red for those, so they can see.
Show your pride, not just for that. Show it everywhere you go. Wear your earrings, headband, your shirts, your moccasins on moccasin day. Rock your mocks. Don't be ashamed of who you are.
Okay, guys.
People want to be us right now.
I'm gonna go for now. I tried so hard to record it last night. It was becoming more of a really emotional wreck for me at work. So you guys know I do my podcast at work sometimes, and every time I try to talk, I would break down. You guys stay safe out there. And be happy. If you guys need help, call somebody. Anybody. Have a buddy system. Have code words.
I just cauliflower.
To all my listeners, thank you for your continued support. We'll be back with our regular episodes Saturday. And see you on the flip side.